The movie begins with Emma meeting Tom in a hotel room. They have a drink together, but Emma appears preoccupied and informs Tom that they must end their relationship. Tom attempts to persuade her otherwise, but Emma remains resolute due to the affair being extramarital. As she's leaving, he begs to see her one more time the next day, but Emma says she can't because it's her anniversary. The next day, Emma visits her husband, Mark, at his workplace. His assistant gives her flowers and wishes her a happy anniversary. When Emma enters her husband's office, she finds a confidential police file detailing the time she was robbed and stabbed years ago. We then see a flashback of a failed robbery where the thief got injured in the eye. Emma is interrupted when her husband Mark enters the office. We find out that Mark is a big-shot lawyer working on a case to revoke the parole of the man who attacked Emma. Emma asks him if he misses putting people in jail instead of keeping them out, but Mark, now a criminal attorney, says he prefers the money. They take the elevator, and Tom joins them on the next floor. It's now clear that Tom slept with his boss's wife, and they have to pretend they don't know each other. Emma and Mark go to a restaurant for their anniversary dinner. Mark gives her a diamond necklace as a gift. Emma also has a gift for him, 2 Super Bowl tickets, but he rudely dismisses it, saying the team is bad that year. They see a man proposing to his girlfriend across the room, and Emma feels nostalgic, remembering when she was happy with Mark. Mark puts the necklace on her, and we learn they've been married for 11 years. After dinner, Mark blindfolds Emma and surprises her by driving to a secluded lake house they used to visit when they were younger. When they arrive, Emma explores the house and finds a dark room full of pictures of them together. She plays a record and smiles, remembering the good times. Emma follows rose petals upstairs to the bedroom and finds Mark waiting with 2 glasses of champagne. He apologizes for not being a good husband and says he wants to fix things. They then make love. In the morning, Emma wakes up to find her husband sitting on the bed next to her. She realizes her wrist is handcuffed to his. Suddenly, he points a gun to his head and kills himself. Emma screams for help, but there's no one around. She tries to call the cops, but the phone is dead. She tries to shoot the chain with the gun, but it's out of bullets. With no other choice, she drags Mark's dead body to the walk-in closet and finds her wedding dress hanging there. Behind it, there's a safe. Emma uses the dress to make it easier to drag Mark's body. As she heads downstairs, she tumbles down with the corpse. She looks for her phone but finds it submerged in a flower vase and ruined. Emma checks every drawer and cabinet in the kitchen and finds car keys. She struggles to get into the car with Mark's dead body weighing her down. When she tries to start the car, she finds that the fuel tank is empty. Their wedding song starts playing, and a recording of Mark's voice explains, in a passive-aggressive tone, that he did this because Emma was ungrateful. He found out about her affair with Tom and refused to forgive her or let her live happily. Emma goes back inside to wash the blood off her face but realizes she can't remove the necklace Mark gave her. Frustrated, she comes up with another idea and goes to the basement, hoping to find some tools, but it's empty. She rants about how Mark was a hypocrite because he had affairs with different women too, remembering the time she found lipstick and glitter on his shirt. Frustrated, Emma drags Mark back upstairs with all her strength and collapses on the floor from exhaustion. She decides to go back to the dark room and discovers the mugshot of the man who attacked her during the failed robbery we saw earlier. There's also a record player labeled Play Me, which she activates. She grimly realizes it's a recording of her being interviewed about the robbery. In the recording, Emma learns she was stabbed in the back during the attack but also managed to injure the attacker, possibly stabbing him in the eye. Triggered by her past trauma, Emma can't listen to the rest of the recording and loses her composure. Returning to the living room, Emma hears someone outside the door. It's Tom, the man she had the affair with. He explains he rushed to her aid after receiving distress texts from her, but Emma never sent those texts, Mark did. After realizing what's happening, Tom informs Emma that the FBI raided Mark's office, causing his career to crumble. Emma now understands why her husband chose to end his life. She urges Tom to call the police immediately because she believes Mark planned to frame them. When Tom goes to retrieve his phone from the car, they spot a truck approaching the lake house in the distance. Tom, suspicious, decides to confront the situation and instructs Emma not to open the door for anyone but him. The truck stops, and Tom confronts a man named Jimmy who claims he's there to fix a burst pipe. Tom offers to pay him for the job and asks him to leave. As Jimmy is about to depart, another man named Bobby emerges from the truck. Without warning, Bobby repeatedly stabs Tom, and both men force their way into the house. While Tom bleeds on the floor, it becomes clear that Jimmy shows some compassion, but Bobby is utterly ruthless and cold-blooded. While the two men search the house, Emma moves outside, dragging Mark's body with her to the boat shed. There, she cuts off Mark's arm to lighten her load. Shortly after, Jimmy and Bobby discover the body, but Emma has already disappeared. Unseen by them, Emma hides underneath them. Seeing Bobby's face, she realizes he's the man who attacked her before. From their conversation, Emma learns that Mark hired them to come here, promising access to the lake house's safe which holds diamonds. With Mark dead, Bobby and Jimmy are now searching for Emma, as she's the only one who knows the safe's combination. After the men leave, Emma emerges from hiding and devises a plan. Jimmy examines the safe and tells Bobby it needs both a combination and a fingerprint. Bobby decides to retrieve Mark's body. Meanwhile, Emma drags the boat's fuel tank through the snow. She almost gets caught when Jimmy exits the house to search for her, but she manages to sneak into the car garage. There, she tries to pump fuel into the car's tank, but the noise alerts Bobby, who investigates. Emma hides under the car as Bobby walks around, slashing a tire to prevent her from escaping. She slips away from Bobby and returns inside the house while Jimmy is busy bringing Mark's body inside. Suspicious, Bobby follows closely behind her. Emma finds herself trapped on the staircase between Bobby in the basement and Jimmy at the door. Thinking quickly, Emma presses the alarm button on the car key, distracting Bobby and Jimmy. They rush back to the garage, giving Emma a brief moment to mourn Tom's death. Outside, Bobby tells Jimmy he won't let Emma leave alive because she had him imprisoned for the past decade after their failed robbery attempt. They return inside the house and continue searching for Emma, knowing she must be somewhere inside. Bobby checks upstairs while Jimmy stays on the first floor. Upstairs, Bobby hears a noise from the attic and investigates. Just as he starts looking around, Emma emerges from hiding and attacks him, crashing to the floor below. She takes his car keys. Hearing the commotion, Jimmy rushes upstairs to find his brother unconscious. Emma hits Jimmy with a golf club, locks him in a room by breaking the doorknob, and then heads outside to start the car. However, Bobby, who has regained consciousness, stops her. As this unfolds, Emma manages to grab a phone and calls 911. Jimmy tries to persuade Bobby to give up and escape before the police arrive, but Bobby refuses. He kicks Emma unconscious. When Emma wakes up, she finds herself handcuffed to her dead husband again, with Bobby and Jimmy dragging the safe closer to her. She tries to explain that she doesn't know the safe's combination, but Bobby, unconvinced, starts beating her to subdue her. He threatens to stab her again, but Jimmy intervenes to stop him, though Bobby pushes him away. Jimmy grabs Mark's gun and aims it at Bobby, tired of the violence. Suddenly, Emma offers to give them the combination if they uncuff her. Jimmy agrees, and Emma gives them the code to the safe. When they finally open it, they find it empty except for an engraved metal piece indicating that the diamonds have been turned into the necklace Emma is wearing. Emma starts panicking, unable to remove the necklace. Bobby, determined to get the diamonds, threatens to harm Emma, but Jimmy prevents him. Bobby tries to shoot, but the gun is empty. A struggle ensues between Bobby and Emma, interrupted by Jimmy, The brothers fight, and accidentally Bobby strikes Jimmy's head against a clothes hanger, killing him instantly. As Bobby stands in shock, Emma quickly gets up and grabs a nearby knife. He confronts her, threatening to kill her. They struggle again, but this time Emma manages to strike him with a heavy tool. She then heads for an escape, with Bobby now chained to Mark's body. Emma reaches the garage and gets into Mark's car. Bobby follows closely behind as Emma reverses the car, crashing through the garage wall and hitting other cars. Unable to move them, she drives forward, accidentally hitting Bobby in the process. However, the car slides on the snow and crashes into the boat shed. Bobby, still determined, makes his way to the crashed car in a rage. Emma is no longer inside, though. She's crawling through the frozen lake. Bobby finds her and follows closely. They continue their fight, and Emma manages to stab Bobby. The impact causes them both to crash through the ice and into the freezing water. They struggle underwater, but Emma retrieves the knife from Bobby's shoulder and incapacitates him, freeing herself from his grasp. Emma swims to the surface and breaks through the ice. The movie concludes with Emma lying on the frozen lake. She removes her wedding ring and rolls it into the water, as distant police sirens become audible in the background.